What's going on, traders? Few things to talk about. It's going to be a pretty short video because I mean today was today was really lackluster. Despite us having FOMC minutes, despite Jerome Powell speaking, you just really didn't get much action today. So we're going to talk about the SPY, we're going to talk about the triple Qs, and then we're going to go over what institutions are doing for the rest of this upcoming trading week. Before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So right now we're looking at the SPY 2-hour time frame, and one thing a lot of you've been asking me, especially in the Discord, is does the Jerome Powell idea when it comes to the initial move being the wrong move, does that apply here? And I would say yes, it does still apply. I'm not going to take that away. Historically, when Jerome Powell speaks, the initial move is the wrong move. In case you're new to this idea, it simply means that if Jerome Powell is speaking, let's say 30 minutes from now, right, and the market is bullish heading into his speech, then usually after he's done speaking, you see some type of drop. Whether it's the hour after he's speaking or whether it's the next day, it's up in the air. But usually after he is done speaking, you see the opposite effect. And that's the same applies if you see downside prior to his speech, then usually you'll see upside the next day or so. But when it comes to today, I mean, we really didn't do anything, right? We just consolidated. We bounced back and forth. We mainly bounced back and forth between 558 and 562. We did get as low as 555, but majority of the day was just a bunch of consolidation. Now, we can argue that we saw a little bit more downside than upside. So if we are using the whole initial move as the wrong move idea, then we would have to assume that tomorrow is going to be bullish, or maybe even Friday, right? But for me personally, I don't think this is anything to go off of. Like I told a Discord member who asked me about this, I think the best thing you can do right now is wait. Right? Because this is not something you can trade off of. Maybe you can scalp, maybe you can day trade, but ultimately this is not something that you really want to trade off of. I mean, you just saw a bunch of huge spikes back and forth between 558, 562. Lowest you got was 555, which is our key level here. But ultimately, you just didn't really see much of anything despite Jerome Powell speaking, despite FOMC. Today was just a really boring day. Right, and so your key levels here, it goes without saying, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this, 555. Okay, if you manage to break below 555, you can head as low as 549, 550 psych level, right? And then your other key level here is obviously 562, but your main key level of all key levels is 565. I don't have it marked here, but 565 is your key level. If you manage to break and hold above 565, then you're heading back towards 567, and then highest you can go is about 570. And so if we go to the daily time frame here, one thing I told you guys before is that historically you always end up retesting depth crosses, right? But what's interesting here is that the SPY did not retest its depth cross. It retested the 50 MA, sure, but it has yet to retest the 200 MA at around 572. Now, I'm not saying we're going to head there. What I want you guys to really pay attention to here is the triple Qs. The triple Qs has officially retested the depth cross here. And so I would argue that this is bearish divergence, where the triple Qs is making a new high, but the SPY is making a new low when it comes to the daily time frame. Now, this is not yet confirmed because we don't really have a bearish candle. It's just a bunch of Pomeranians dancing here. But regardless, we can argue that this is bearish divergence that's forming, which is a bearish sign. Now, it's very much possible that we still have a chance to retest the 200 MA and retest our depth cross, but triple Qs has already done that. And so if SPY does decide to pump higher, then it's safe to say that triple Qs can head as high as that double top neckline that we've been talking about, which is your top here, and triple Qs can head as high as 500, between 500 and 504, which is where your double top neckline is, right around here in this area. And you have your top here, your top here. We talk about this all the time. I don't think I have to mark it out, right? So that is a scenario. That's a bullish scenario. Now, when we're talking about a bearish scenario here, a lot of you are talking about this inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is another bullish scenario, right? A lot of you are talking about this inverse head and shoulders pattern that's forming, right? You have your, your shoulder here. Let's actually mark it out because this is the first time I'm mentioning it. But you have a shoulder here, right? You have another shoulder here, not head here, sorry. And then you have a potential shoulder here. Now, me personally, I think when so many people are talking about something, it doesn't play out, right? I think this is way too obvious. And not only that, but the measured move is insane, right? The measured move is absolutely insane. Now, don't get it twisted. I do believe that all-time highs is coming by the end of the summer, if not a little bit sooner. I do think we are going to head towards all-time highs before the end of the year. I think that goes without saying. I don't think anyone it takes a rocket scientist to say that. But when you're talking about the measured move of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and this is the daily time frame once again, you're talking about a move all the way to 658. I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think we're still in uncertainty territory. The Fed just pretty much, Jerome Powell pretty much said or implied that there's not going to be rate cuts for June. Tariffs are still a thing. We don't know what Donald Trump is going to do in regards to tariffs just yet. So it's too soon to start talking about a move towards what was that, 658? It's way too soon to talk about that, right? So we'll see. But ultimately, I think this is way too obvious. Not only that, but you still have this gap that needs to get filled all the way at 530. So I don't think we're just gonna, go crazy and be like, yeah, oh my God, Jupiter. Like, we're not gonna do something like that. I don't believe that's gonna happen before we at least fill this gap. Not only that, but we have gaps on the futures as well, ES and NQ as well. And it's very rare that ES and NQ leaves gaps behind, like for a long time. So that's just my thoughts. Could this play out? Sure. I just don't think it's going to start playing out soon. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, right? But ultimately, you are forming some type of bearish divergence. SPY has yet to retest the 200 MA. It's very much possible that that is still on the table. But if you manage to break below 555, you're definitely heading towards 550, 549. You give up I would say 541, 540. You give up this area right here, you're very illiquid towards this gap fill all the way to 530. So for now, we're pretty much in safe territory when it comes to the bullish side. When it comes to the bearish side, you obviously want to see us break completely down. You definitely want to see us break below 555. That level is just straight bullish territory. They are really, really holding this level strong. Okay, so when we look at the triple Qs here, pretty much the same thing. You're, again, pretty obvious, right? It's really obvious that this inverse head and shoulders pattern is here. Like me, I don't like when patterns are way too obvious. Like, they just stand out, like clear as day. This is just screaming, right? Absolutely screaming. It's hard to ignore this, right? I think this is a beautiful way to trap people. I do. And I could be wrong. I think this is a beautiful way to trap traders. I think it's a beautiful way to liquidate traders. I would take full advantage if I was a whale. That's just me. But again, maybe this plays out, right? Maybe this absolutely plays out. You're talking about a measured move all the way back towards 600. I don't know. That would make stocks that will make the Mag 7 so expensive. Like, when you're talking about moves like this, let's actually measure this out. Okay. Ideally, bulls will love this, right? You're probably one of the bulls that love this. You're like, oh my God, I hope this happened, right? You're like, man, please let this happen. You're talking about a move to 580. But when you're talking about evaluating the Mag 7, when it comes to this, the Mag 7 are going to be mad expensive. Like, this is not, you want Mag 7 to be cheap, right? You want to be able to buy the Mag 7, not even just the Mag 7, but just stocks in general. This will put stocks like Tesla, Google at extremely high evaluations, in my opinion. I just don't think we're ready for that yet. At least until AI really starts taking off, right? Right now, I still believe we're in the beginning of AI stages, but that will put a lot of the Mag 7 in ridiculous levels, right? When we're talking about a move all the way to 580 from 480, right? It's possible. Again, I still think we're going to see all-time highs sometime this year. I just don't think we're there yet. I don't think we have enough news to make something like this happen, right? This is it's possible, but I could be wrong here, so we'll see. But ultimately, when you're talking about the triple Qs and your key levels here, it goes without saying 485. We saw how we pumped towards 485 heading into close, and then we rejected from there. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you go down to the 2-hour time frame. Again, like I said before, when we were looking at the SPY, you didn't do much. You just consolidated, right? And you would think you would have done a lot based off, how hawkish Jerome Powell was. He was very hawkish, by the way. It was a bunch of I don't knows. It was a bunch of we have to wait and see. It was a bunch of tariffs are creating uncertainty. It was very strongly implied that we're not going to get rate cuts for June. So yeah, there was a lot there, right? So we just have to wait and see, just based off what he was saying. So we don't really have a real incentive to really pump outside of the semiconductor news that we got in regards to Trump making that announcement. But ultimately, we just don't really have much for us to start talking about all-time highs just yet. It's possible, but for now, 485 is your key level, guys. Again, like I said before, you go to the daily time frame, you've officially retested the death cross all the way at 490, 491. You rejected from there. Bulls are still trying to hold this thing up, but the smaller these candles get, by the way, the weaker the bulls are. Okay, so as these candles get smaller, bulls get weaker. All right, so that's just something you want to pay attention to. We've been pumping on decreased volume as well. I'm sure a lot of you see that. So just be careful. It's the best thing I could say. Your key level to the downside, as far as if you break below 480 and hold, I would say 479. 479 and hold, then you're looking at a move towards 475, right? You break and hold below 475. 470 is obviously your next key level. You get below 470, 462. Oh no, 466, sorry, and then 462, and then you can start heading towards this gap fill all the way at 450. All right, so those are the key levels to the downside. Obviously, 492 is your key level to the upside. And then from there, you can start heading as high as 500. Like we talked about before, multiple times before. Let's go to the weekly time frame here. You have this double top here, top here. Your neckline is here at around 500. You have the evening star resistance up here at around 505. So if we are going to pump towards the upside, and let's say the SPY does want to retest this death cross, then I imagine this is where triple Qs is going to want to go next, hit the bottom of this rising wedge, and then boom. Okay, so we'll see. All right, but right now, like I said in the Discord, the best thing you can do is wait here. Okay, the best thing you can do is wait. Speaking of the Discord, really good day for us in the Discord. We took profit. We took SPY puts yesterday, I believe, or it was the day before. We did 540 puts at around 2.45. We trimmed some contracts here. We took profit at around 3.00. Spotify. A lot of you think I don't do calls. We've been doing calls for quite a minute here. We just are averaging in on puts as well while we're doing that. So we're just pretty much hedging in the Discord, or I'm preparing the Discord to hedge. But we did Spotify calls. This was the Discord bot alert. 660 calls. We got in at 13.65. And then we took profit at, I made like $900 per contract here. So we took profit at 19.90. So that was about an $800 profit per contract. It's funny, people join my Discord, new people join my Discord, and they're like, oh, he doesn't alert trades enough. I mean, there's literal Discord bots that alert, like, you get like 20 trades a day. Like, just off these bots alone, right? So here, our Discord bot is alerting this. It's not my fault that you're scared to take these trades. Like, I can't control what you want to take and what you don't want to take, right? But there's definitely a lot of trades that's alerted throughout the day. Not only trades, but trade ideas. So if I'm not alerting something, either a member is alerting something or the Discord bots are alerting something. It's like 3 different Discord bots that are alerting like tons of trades a day. So if you don't want to take initiative and you want me to babysit you, again, don't join the Discord, all right? But let's talk about quant data, all right? Let's talk about quant data here. So when it comes to quant data, heading into close, right, at 4:08 Eastern time, we saw the institutions loaded up SPY puts for June 20th, 2025. The strike was 534, and they were loaded at 561.14. Quantity is 10,000. They were loaded at the ask, and the premium is 7.56 million. And then I looked these contracts up, so we clicked this spike here. And as you guys can see, nothing but darkness. All right, darkness, despair, Diddy. All right, so yeah, you got SPY puts June 20th, 2025, 534 strike. They were loaded at 561.14, 3,095 quantity. They were loaded at the ask, 2.34 million, 1.40 million, and then you just scroll down, and then you see some of them were sold ultimately, but most of these are all being bought. All right, so something to think about, something to pay attention to. I don't know if the SPY is going to go that low just yet. We'll have to wait and see. But like I told Discord members, I do think the SPY is ready to see the 540s. All right, so that's my thought process when it comes to the SPY. And then we're going to talk about the VIX, but I just want to acknowledge the winners in our Discord because once again, another day, everyone's killing it. This guy right here, the SPY puts that we talked about just earlier, he made $1,600 off the SPY puts I alerted, 540 puts, 516, May 16th, I'm sorry. They were, and he got, you know, made $1,600 off of that play. So beautiful day for that guy. I think he's new as well, kind of new. This guy right here, I've been beat up bad the last few weeks, but days like this help. Yeah, so congratulations to you. You know, just tough it out, man. It's going to be a great year, trust me. Jessica, as usual, killing it, made $100 off the TQQ puts that I've alerted from the Discord bot. And that's when we saw that like massive spike towards the downside, and TQQ went all the way from like 57.5 to 56. This guy right here, 195 puts. I alerted 195 puts, Apple 195 puts like a while ago, and we took profit. He made $5,515 off of that. So yeah, just a beautiful day. And then one of our Discord members alerted a play for her. Oscar calls, 17 calls. So absolutely beautiful day. Again, if you want to just join the Discord, link will be in the description below. This guy, we've been talking about Eli Lilly for quite some time and filling that gap. He made $10,000 off of Eli Lilly filling that gap towards the downside. So congratulations to you. We've been talking about that for like weeks now, and it paid off. So he took initiative. He asked me about it. He took initiative. I didn't give him a strike. I didn't give him an expiration. He just asked me, is it worth playing? And boom, I let him know. And that's what the Discord is about. It's about building confidence. I am not here to babysit you. I'm not here to hold your hand through every single thing, every single event, every single play. The idea is to ask questions, make decisions on your own, and then go from there, right? Because 5 years from now, you don't want to be depending on a Discord host for all your plays. You want to be able to make decisions on your own and make your own money, be your own boss, right? That's the point of this Discord, is to build confidence, right? When you have an idea, I can look at quant data and be like, oh, whales are in this play, right? And then you can decide from there, or you can build confidence from there and be like, oh, well, if whales are in this play, then there's a good chance that this is going to play out. Or if Titan agrees with this play, then there's a good chance that this is going to play out. I'm saying that like I'm some whale, but ultimately, you know, you want the most confirmation you can when it comes to plays. And so this is all about building confidence, all right? It's not about holding your hand. It's not about putting out 3,000 signals a day. You want that? I promise you, you're not going to be successful long term if you're thinking you're going to get 100 plays a day and thinking you're going to be ultimately profitable in trading. I promise it's not going to happen. All right. So we'll see. But when it comes to the overall market, I still think another rug pull is going to happen. I could be wrong, but for now, just a bunch of consolidation. Not much to talk about here. We could talk about the Google real quick and VIX. So Google got some pretty bad news today, and this thing just got decimated. So congratulations if you bought puts on this thing. If you got calls, then you know, yeah. But anyway, ultimately, when we're looking at Google, at some point in time, this is going to have to get cleared out. This whole area is going to have to get cleared out. I don't know when. It can happen tomorrow, right? But we bounced off of this supply and demand zone here, right? We're forming somewhat of a reversal. We formed a reversal pattern here. So Google can head back to about 157, highest maybe 165 if we're pushing it, and then head back down, right? So yeah, I'm not saying this is going to happen right away. Google could head further down. Your key level here is about 146. I do plan on buying more Google shares. I told you guys about buying Google at 140 and 152. So I do plan on buying. Somebody in Discord asked me, do I plan on buying more shares? I'm looking at around 130 for my next dollar cost average when it comes to Google, which will be another drop about 20% from here. So every 20%, definitely going to buy Google shares. So we'll see, but maybe it doesn't drop. Okay, maybe it just keeps pumping from here. Either way, it's a win-win situation for me. And so we look at the VIX. The VIX has this falling wedge pattern. Right now, you're right at the top of this falling wedge pattern, so you ended up retesting it. This is not something you want to see. If you're bearish on the market, this is not something I like. I don't like when you roll over, right? You want to see a breakout here. So 25.3 was your key level here, and you saw we tried to break out, and then ultimately we broke back down. We ended up filling this gap here, so this could simply be a gap fill before heading back towards the upside. But I don't like when patterns break out. Like, I like a retest, and we already retested like here. I think this is pretty close, but yeah, I don't like when we do stuff like I think this is off. Okay, no, it's not off. I don't like when we roll over. It's not necessarily me saying that we're just gonna, you know, continue towards the downside. It's just, it's possible, okay? And then we can just head all the way back down here towards 21. But right now we're rejecting the top of this rising wedge. If we zoom in, we see that we wicked off of it, right? So it's very much possible that we do one of these moves, okay? Very possible. But again, I'm not a fan of all these bearish wicks. But the VIX is a volatility index. It's not. It doesn't move like a stock. But you know, and not only that, it doesn't have to respect patterns as well, like falling wedges, rising wedges. But it was looking like it was playing out so far. It was looking pretty good so far. We'll see if this is just simply a retest. But ultimately, guys, it's just a bunch of uncertainty in the air. It's a bunch of consolidation right now. like I said to the Discord members, the best thing you could do here is just wait it out and see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Unemployment claims is tomorrow. And then Friday, every FOMC member in the building is talking. So Friday is going to be crazy to me, in my opinion. I mean, you got every FOMC member speaking except for, what's her name, the president. But regardless, I mean, insane week so far. Spotify was our biggest play. I do calls, okay? You thumbnail warriors that just read thumbnails and don't pay attention to video, I definitely do calls. So it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is just simply a liquidity grab towards the downside and then we're going to pump towards the upside? Or do you think the top is in for short term and then we drop towards the downside when it comes to SPY? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until the next video, traders. See you in the next video.